Being alone isn't what people make it out to be. Society loves to make you think that if you're not surrounded by people, something's wrong with you. But that's not true. Some of the most successful, most powerful, and most fulfilled people in this world got where they are because they learned the strength of standing alone. See, being alone isn't about isolation. It's about transformation. It's about stepping back from the crowd, from the noise, and getting real with yourself. Most people are scared to be alone because they're scared to face themselves. But the truth is, your best self is waiting for you in that quiet space. When you're constantly surrounded by people, opinions, and distractions, it's easy to lose sight of your true self. You start living on autopilot, following routines that aren't even yours, and chasing goals that someone else set for you. But when you're alone, all that noise fades. Suddenly, you're left with one voice, your own. That's when clarity steps in. Self-reflection is like looking in a mirror, but not the kind that shows you your face. It's the mirror that reveals your soul. It forces you to confront your fears, acknowledge your dreams, and face the truths you've been avoiding. This isn't always comfortable, but it's necessary. You can't fix what you won't face, and being alone gives you the time and space to do just that. Think about it. When was the last time you asked yourself, what do I want? Not what your family wants, not what your friends expect, but what sets your heart on fire. Solitude lets you dig deep and ask those questions without judgment. It's in those moments of silence that you discover your purpose. Clarity also brings focus. When you're alone, you stop scattering your energy on things that don't matter. You start seeing the difference between what's urgent and what's important. This shift in perspective is powerful because it helps you align your actions with your priorities. And when your priorities are clear, success isn't far behind. Most importantly, self-reflection builds confidence. When you know who you are and what you stand for, you stop needing validation from others. You walk into rooms with your head high, not because someone told you to, but because you've done the inner work. That kind of confidence can't be shaken. So the next time you find yourself alone, don't reach for your phone or try to fill the silence. Embrace it. Use that time to reflect, to listen, and to connect with yourself. Clarity is waiting for you, but only if you're brave enough to sit still and find it. We all love the idea of being strong, but real strength isn't proven when you've got a cheering squad around you. Real strength shows up when it's just you by yourself staring down a challenge. That's when you find out what you're made of. When you're alone, there's no one to lean on, no one to pass the responsibility to. It's all on you. And that might sound intimidating, but it's the best thing that could happen. Because in those moments, you realize just how capable you are. You figure things out, you push through, and you come out stronger on the other side. Think about it. Every great story of success has a chapter where the hero was alone. Whether starting a business, overcoming heartbreak, or chasing a dream, there's always a moment when no one else believes, but they keep going. That's strength. That's the kind of grit that can only be built in solitude. The world isn't always going to have your back. Friends will fall off. The family might not understand your vision, and society will throw doubts at you. If your strength depends on external support, you'll crumble. But if you've learned to stand tall on your own, nothing can knock you down. And let's talk about the mental toughness that comes from being alone. When you're forced to navigate life without a safety net, you develop resilience. You learn how to calm your fears, solve your problems, and motivate yourself when no one else will. That kind of inner strength doesn't just make you survive, it makes you unstoppable. Don't be afraid to face challenges by yourself. See those moments as opportunities to flex your strength and grow. The more you rely on yourself, the more you'll realize that you've had the power all along. When people constantly surround you, you start to wear different masks to fit in. You play the role of the friend, the employee, the partner, or whatever the situation demands. Over time, it's easy to lose track of who you are underneath it all. That's why being alone is so powerful. It strips away the masks and brings you face to face with your authentic self. Alone time lets you explore your likes and dislikes without anyone else's influence. Maybe you've been saying you love certain things because your circle does, but deep down they don't excite you. Solitude gives you the space to figure that out. It's like peeling back the layers to discover your true preferences, passions, and purpose. Knowing who you are is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. It sets the foundation for everything else in life, your career, relationships, and personal growth. But you can't know yourself if you're always distracted by others' opinions. Alone time is your chance to build that relationship with yourself. When you find your true identity, you stop seeking approval from the outside world. You realize that you don't need to fit into anyone's mold because you're already whole. That's a liberating feeling. It frees you to make choices that align with your values, not someone else's expectations. Solitude also gives you the confidence to own your uniqueness. You stop comparing yourself to others because you understand that your journey is yours alone. You embrace your quirks, your flaws, and your strengths. And that authenticity shines brighter than any mask ever could. So if you ever feel lost, don't look for answers in the crowd. Step away, spend time alone, and reconnect with yourself. The person you're searching for is already within you. You just need the quiet to hear them. Life doesn't always go as planned. And when things fall apart, who do you lean on? Sometimes there's no one around. And that's when being alone shows its true value. Solitude is like a boot camp for your soul. It's tough, but it makes you stronger. You learn to stand tall in the face of adversity because you realize you have no choice but to push through. Resilience isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. And you can't build it if you're always depending on others to carry you through times. Being alone forces you to find solutions. It pushes you to think critically, to problem solve, and to keep going when the odds are against you. When you're alone, you have the space to process your emotions. Instead of suppressing pain or masking it with distractions, you confront it. You cry, you get angry, you feel it all, but then you move forward. That process of dealing with your emotions head on is what builds resilience. It teaches that no storm lasts forever and that you have the strength to weather it. Solitude also teaches you patience. When you're alone, there's no one rushing you to get over it or fix things immediately. You learn to trust the process, to take it one day at a time, and to focus on progress rather than perfection. This patience becomes a tool you can use in every area of your life. Most importantly, resilience built in solitude gives you a deeper sense of self-trust. When you survive tough times alone, you know you can handle anything life throws your way. You don't need to wait for someone to save you because you've already proven that you can save yourself. So the next time life knocks you down, don't see being alone as a punishment. See it as an opportunity to grow, to heal, and to come back stronger than ever. Resilience isn't given, it's earned. And solitude is the training ground where it's built. When you're alone, you're not tied to anyone else's schedule, opinions, or expectations. That kind of freedom is priceless. It gives you the space to dream big and take bold steps toward those dreams without worrying about what anyone else thinks. Alone time lets you design your life on your terms. Think about how many people never reach their potential because they're too busy living for others. They follow the crowd, chasing what's popular or safe, and lose sight of their own goals. But when you're alone, you're free to step away from the herd. You can create a path that's uniquely yours, one that aligns with your passions and purpose. This freedom also lets you experiment and take risks. You don't have to justify your choices to anyone. If you fail quietly and learn from it. If you succeed on your merit. Either way, being alone gives you the freedom to try without fear of judgment. Solitude allows you to discover what truly matters to you. When you're not constantly influenced by other people's opinions, you start to prioritize differently. You focus on what brings you joy, fulfillment, and peace. That clarity shapes the path you're meant to walk. But freedom isn't just about doing what you want, it's about being accountable for your choices. When you're alone, you can't blame anyone else for your mistakes. This accountability makes you more intentional and disciplined. You learn to take full ownership of your life, and that's where real growth begins. Embrace the freedom that comes with being alone. Use it to dream bigger, work harder, and create a life that reflects who you truly are. When you're not following someone else's path, you can finally blaze your trail. When you spend time alone, you start to notice things about the world that you've overlooked. You see how people behave, how they treat others, and how they navigate life. The world becomes a mirror reflecting the lessons you need to learn. Solitude sharpens your awareness. Without the distraction of constant chatter, you begin to observe life more clearly. You notice patterns, how certain habits lead to success while others lead to failure. These observations become valuable insights that you can apply to your own life. Being alone also gives you the chance to evaluate your relationships. You start to see who adds value to your life and who drains your energy. Sometimes it's only in solitude that you realize certain connections are holding you back. This clarity allows you to make decisions that protect your peace and prioritize your growth. The world also mirrors your inner state. When you're calm and centered, you see opportunities and beauty all around you. But when you're restless or anxious, it's easy to focus on the negatives. Solitude helps you align your inner world with the life you want to create. In this reflective state, you learn to trust your intuition. You stop second-guessing yourself and start listening to that inner voice. The world becomes less about external validation and more about internal alignment. You realize that the answers you're seeking were within you all along. So treat the world like a classroom and solitude like your teacher. The lessons you learn in those quiet moments will guide you, shape you, and prepare you for the journey ahead. When you see the world as a mirror, you start to see yourself more clearly too. In a world that's constantly pulling you in every direction, finding peace can feel impossible. But solitude gives you the space to pause, breathe, and reconnect with yourself. It's in those quiet moments that you realize peace isn't something external, it's something you create within. When you're alone, you're not juggling opinions, expectations, or conflicts. You're free to focus solely on your needs and emotions. That freedom is what allows you to recharge. Solitude acts like a reset button for your mind and soul, helping you let go of stress and find balance again. Inner peace doesn't come from avoiding life's challenges. It comes from facing them with clarity and strength. When you're alone, you have the time to process what's happening in your life without rushing. You can sit with your emotions, understand them, and decide how to move forward. That's where true peace begins. Solitude also helps you develop healthier habits. Without distractions, you can focus on practices that calm your mind, like meditation, journaling, or simply sitting in silence. These habits create a foundation of peace that you can carry with you, even in chaotic situations. Another gift of solitude is learning how to be present. When you're not constantly looking for the next thing or worrying about others, you can fully appreciate the moment you're in. This presence brings a sense of gratitude and contentment that strengthens your inner peace. Don't see alone time as loneliness, see it as an opportunity to nurture your soul. Peace isn't found in the noise, it's found in the stillness. And once you've built that peace within yourself, nothing and no one can take it away. One of the greatest things you can achieve in life is independence, not just financial independence, but emotional and mental independence. When you're alone, you learn how to stand on your own 2 feet. And that kind of strength is priceless. Dependence on others might feel comforting in the short term, but it limits your growth. If you're always waiting for someone else to solve your problems or validate your decisions, you'll never realize your full potential. Solitude forces you to take responsibility for yourself. When you're alone, you learn to trust your instincts. There's no one else to second guess you or talk you out of your decisions. That self-trust becomes a powerful tool, allowing you to navigate life with confidence and clarity. Independence also means learning how to cope with challenges on your own. Instead of turning to others for solutions, you figure things out for yourself. This problem-solving mindset doesn't just make you stronger, it makes you unstoppable. But independence doesn't mean cutting people out of your life. It means not relying on them to complete you. When you're whole on your own, relationships become a choice, not a necessity. You're free to connect with others from a place of love and respect, rather than neediness. Embrace the independence that solitude brings. It's not about being isolated, it's about being empowered. When you learn to stand alone, you gain the strength to face anything life throws at you. When you spend time alone, you start to see your worth differently. You realize that you don't have to settle for less respect, less love, or less opportunity just to avoid being alone. Solitude gives you the courage to raise your standards. Being alone teaches you patience. You stop rushing into situations that don't align with your values just to fill a void. You learn to wait for what you truly deserve, whether it's in relationships, work, or life in general. That patience becomes your superpower. When you raise your standards, you naturally attract better people and opportunities into your life. You stop tolerating disrespect or mediocrity because you've experienced the peace and clarity that come with being alone. You'd rather protect your energy than settle for something that drains it. This shift in standards also applies to how you treat yourself. When you spend time alone, you start prioritizing self-care, growth, and happiness. You stop looking for others to provide those things because you've learned how to give them to yourself. Higher standards don't make you arrogant, they make you self-respecting. You're not asking for perfection, you're asking for alignment. You want people in situations that match the effort and energy you're willing to give. That's not selfish, that's smart. Life has a way of wearing you down. The daily grind, the constant demands, and the endless noise can leave you feeling drained. But being alone gives you the chance to step back and reset. It's like taking a deep breath for your soul. When you're alone, you can assess where you are in life without anyone else's influence. Are you on the right path? Are you pursuing what truly matters to you? These questions are hard to answer in the middle of the chaos, but solitude gives you the space to figure them out. A reset doesn't mean starting over, it means recalibrating. It's about shedding what's no longer serving you, whether that's toxic relationships, bad habits, or limiting beliefs. Solitude gives you the clarity and courage to let go of what's holding you back. This reset also helps you reconnect with your purpose. When you strip away distractions, you can hear that inner voice reminding you of why you started in the first place. That renewed sense of purpose becomes the fuel that drives you forward. Solitude allows you to recharge your energy. When you're constantly giving to others, it's easy to forget to fill your cup. Alone time is your chance to refill, rest, and prepare for what's next. Treat solitude like a reset button for your soul. Use it to realign with your goals, recharge your energy, and rediscover your purpose. The world will still be there when you're ready, but you'll come back stronger. When you're whole by yourself, you stop chasing things that aren't meant for you. You realize that you don't have to force anything. What's truly meant for you will come naturally. Solitude helps you shift from chasing to attracting. Being alone allows you to focus on becoming the best version of yourself. You're not distracted by trying to impress others or fit into their expectations. Instead, you're pouring your energy into growth, and that energy attracts like-minded people and opportunities. When you stop chasing, you create space for the right things to find you. Whether it's a fulfilling relationship, a dream job, or a life-changing opportunity, these things come when you're aligned with yourself. Solitude helps you reach that alignment. This isn't about waiting passively, it's about being intentional. When you're alone, you set clear boundaries and goals. You know what you want, and you're not afraid to say no to anything that doesn't match your vision. That kind of clarity is magnetic. Attraction also comes from authenticity. When you're comfortable being alone, you're not pretending to be someone you're not. People are drawn to the real you, and the opportunities that come your way are a better fit because they align with your true self. Use solitude as a tool to attract the life you deserve. Stop chasing what isn't yours and start focusing on becoming the person who's ready to receive what is. When you embrace solitude, you start to see the bigger picture. Being alone physically doesn't mean you're alone spiritually, emotionally, or universally. There's always something greater at work guiding you, and you begin to feel that connection in the quiet moments. Solitude helps you tune into your faith, intuition, or higher purpose without distractions. You can hear that inner voice that reminds you of your strength and your direction. That connection brings a sense of peace that no external company can provide. You also realize that solitude is temporary. It's a season, not a sentence. People come and go, but the time you spend alone is a chance to prepare for what's next. You're not alone forever. You're simply growing into the person you're meant to be. Being alone teaches you to value the right kind of connections. When you're comfortable with yourself, you attract people who align with your values and purpose. These relationships are deeper, more meaningful, and more fulfilling because they're built on authenticity. Most importantly, you learn that you're enough. You don't need a crowd to feel validated or a partner to feel complete. You're whole on your own. And that realization is one of the most empowering things you'll ever experience. So don't fear solitude. Embrace it. Use it as a time to grow, to connect with your inner strength, and to prepare for the incredible things that are coming your way. Being alone isn't a curse, it's a gift. It's a time to reset, reflect, and rebuild. It's a chance to dig deep and discover who you are when no one else is around to influence you. It's not about being lonely, it's about being whole. When you embrace solitude, you unlock a strength you didn't know you had. You learn to trust yourself, to stand on your own 2 feet, and to rise above challenges without needing anyone else to carry you. That strength is yours, and no one can take it away. Solitude sharpens your mind, strengthens your spirit, and aligns your soul with your purpose. It's where you find clarity, creativity, and courage. It's where you set your standards and refuse to settle for anything less than what you deserve. It's where you stop chasing and start attracting the life you were meant to live. And let me remind you of this, you're never truly alone. Whether you call it faith, intuition, or the universe, there's something greater guiding you, even in your quietest moments. Solitude isn't isolation, it's preparation. It's the foundation for the life you're building, one step at a time. So the next time you find yourself alone, don't run from it. Sit with it, embrace it. Use it. Because the power of being alone isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. It's about stepping into your greatness and becoming the person you were always meant to be. You don't need a crowd to succeed. You don't need constant validation to be worthy. All you need is you, your faith, and your determination. Because when you truly understand the power of being alone, you realize you've already got everything you need to win. Now go out there and claim your power.